Welcome to the 51st episode of Lalitha Sahasranaam Stotra. If there is a reservoir that is unconditional, infinite abundance, and if we have to access the contents of that reservoir, how many different ways in which we can access that, the unconditional source, the contents of the reservoir, and then transform ourselves towards the saturation. That is the essence of chanting Lalitha Sahasranaam, Sahasranam Stotra. So in this context, we have to understand the difference between latent and talent. Latent, if it is reversed, then it becomes talent. There's so much of unlimited latent power in the reservoir of unconditional source. Now that latent power is a hidden potential. Now if it is being transformed and subjected to the karmacharana, then it becomes talent. Talent is an externally exhibited action or karmacharana, whereas latent is internal hidden potential. So each of us, everybody has this hidden potential or latent, but it is up to us how we can transform that into a talent. And this transformation, the training, how to transform the hidden talents, hidden latency into talent, that training is being provided through these 1,000 combinations of Lalitha Divya Rahasya Sahasranam Stotra. However, there is no literary connection between latent and talent. I think, I personally think that talent, the word talent is originated from latent. So I think there is a connection between latent and talent. Anyway, so let us move on. The next nama is Bhavani. Bhavani means the samsara. Samsara is the samsara is the community togetherness, community union, through which everybody is experiencing the same level of everybody is practicing the same level of sara or potency, or in other words, it's a community fabric. Samsara is a community fabric. So the lotus of the samsara, or lotus of the community fabric, so for such a lotus, the life force of this lotus is called Bhavani. In other words, those who are in samsara yoga, the potency, the necessary potency required to excel in samsara yoga, that necessary potency is being provided through Bhavani. So after the termination of the Bandasura, the inertial demonic form, the order in the universe was restored. Manmadha, or Cupid, was given the life force again. He was given a second life, and the Bandasura effects were no more. Has been verified through the harmonics of the Shodasha Guna or 16 Gunas and the Shodasha Guna itself. The soul connection got re-established, and faculty of personality or ego got transformed into a sugar cane, bamboo. Then the four divisions were being performed through Kulangana, Kulandastha, Kaulini, Kulayogini, and those who are in this, the community activity, they have been subjected towards saturation. Those who do not fit into this community, those who fit into community, they have been subjected to saturation through aparavidya, and those who do not fit into this community, they have been externally transformed and then reinducted into the community, and then subjected to transformation. Those who do not fit into external paravidya also, they have been subjected to parapara through samayachara tatpara, and either through para or apara, that means either through the external transformation subsequently or through the internal transformation, that is within the community, they have been subjected to saturation. And those who are still beyond these transformation techniques, they have been subjected to para of parapara and apara of parapara. And those categories, those individuals that do not fit into any of these, that is para, apara, parapara, para of parapara, apara of parapara, they have been subjected to genetic transformation internally, and that is the origin of the Gandhis, 3 knots in the body, and their internal 5 elements were being set in order, set in equilibrium, and their Kundalini energy was awakened, and so these are the people now, they got into yogam and they absorb the nectar of immortality through Sahasra or Brahmasandra, that is Jura that resides on top of the head in Sahasrara. So these are the various techniques that are being implemented by the Universal Mother. This is post-Bandasura effect. Now in this situation, everybody is in or on a common rope, common thread, so to speak. So there was no common thread, and there were no highs and lows. So everybody is on a common thread. There's a community, sense of community feeling here at this point in time. Now this is the time that the samsara yoga is introduced, because everybody is on a common thread. So they are ready to absorb the common nourishment through the community activity. So hence the samsara yoga was introduced at this point in time. So through this samsara yoga, they have been subjected towards the saturation. So whatever technique the Universal Mother implements, that is towards the saturation of the soul, so that the saturated soul departs the body in a satisfied manner, content manner, and that's how the order in the universe gets established and the universe marches forward. That is the ultimate aim for the universal mother. So through Bhavani, the necessary potency, that is common potency for those who are in samsara yoga, on a common thread, acting in a community manner, through community activities. So it's just like a reservoir in an apartment that is having so many flats. There is a overhead tank that stores the water, and that water is that water resource is common for everybody. Whoever opens the tap or opens the wall, they get the water. So that is a necessary nourishment. In a similar manner, those who are in samsara yoga on a common thread, so there is a common nourishment to all of them through the community. Common nourishment, those who are in samsara yoga, that is bhavani. So this potency, through this potency, they give rise to, they become tools for extending their family and inviting new souls to assume the body. So that's how they get saturated. And so where is the source? What is the source for this potency? Now, in the Nama, after Kaulni Kulayogini, Akula Samayansansa Samayachara Tatpara, Muladhara Ekanilya, Brahmagrandi Vedini, Agna Chakrantran, Sahasranamam Bujaruda Sudasaravarshini. So after the formation of the three Gandhis, and after controlling the flow through the three Gandhis, these individuals got the nectar of immortality through Sahasrara, that is Jura membrane on top of the head. This nectar of immortality is essentially the unified energy of Kameshwara and Universal Mother, the Universal Father and Universal Mother. And their unification gives rise to the maximum intensity potency that one can achieve. So through this unification and through the Sahasrara, this nectar of immortality was being absorbed. Now that needs to be, of course, transformed into flowable energy, just like the latent to talent. There's a latency transformation that has to take place, and through Visatantu Taniyasi, Mahasikti Kundalini Visatantu Taniyasi. So the revolution of the chakras happened, and so this latency, the hidden potency of highest order of Universal Mother and Universal Father, which is actually in a solid form, frozen form, when it interacts with the revolving chakras, it gives rise to potency. It transforms into liquefied form. That is the potency. And So when it enters into the necessary organs in the body, that gives rise to the reproductive organs, that gives rise to that becomes tools for new souls to assume body. So therefore, this the potency or the tool for to become to extend the family, and this subject is a central theme of Kama Sutra, and it seems it is coming from the interaction of Kundalini chakras with the hidden latent power. That's how this potency is originated in the body. That is evident from this. So we need some heat to transform the hidden potential that is in a frozen form, and this heat is originated through the Kundalini energy. This Kundalini energy is the central theme of Kama Sutra. So therefore, those who are aiming to extend the family, aiming to be parents, aiming to invite new souls to assume the body, they should understand that this the potency that is being used to invite the new souls is getting originated from the unification of Universal Mother and Universal Father, and this potency is there in every individual in a frozen, hidden potential, in a latent form that needs to be transformed through the Kundalini energy. The friction that this encounters through the revolution of the Kundalini chakras melts this frozen, hidden, latent potency, and then that the liquefied form is being carried to the reproductive organs, and hence the role of the successful completion of this invitation of the new souls to assume the body, the process gets completed. So through this nama is terminated, Bhavani is terminated with the E. So hence it is ever going process. That means every minute, every second, there are so many new souls assuming the bodies in this world, in this universe. So hence Bhavani is never terminated. It is never completed. Hence it is terminated with E. So the next nama is Bhavanagamya. Bhavanagamya means those who are in Bhavani, those who are in Samsara Yoga, the common threading through which the community activity and those who are in Samsara Yoga the saturation or the destination or the goal of this samsara yoga, that is called bhavana gamya. Gamya is the destination. So those who are in samsara yoga, the destination or goal for this yogam is some bhavana gamya. So through Bhavani we have discussed about the potency for extending the family. So in this nama Bhavana Gamya, the end point or the goal or the destination has been discussed. So if we consider samsara as a pawn, and those who are have on a common thread, having a common nourishment through this samsara yoga, we can imagine them to be like lotus flowers. because they are on a common threading. So they're all receiving the same nourishment, common nourishment. So just like the lotus, a family of lotuses, the group of lotuses in residing in a lake or pond, they receive the common nourishment. So and they extend. These lotuses extend. So that is samsara yoga. And we can see that these lotuses, they blossom and then they get saturated, and then they leave the body. The flower is, the petals are gone, and then the new lotus emerges, and then it again gets saturated and it leaves. So this is the destination, this is the goal of samsara yoga. So there may be some lotus flower that is reaching the destination or saturation faster. There are some others that are lagging behind, but the point is that all of them are having a common nourishment. They're all threaded together. So there's nobody that falling outside this domain. So in this context, it is in this situation, it is easy to help them to reach their destination. That is bhavana agamya. So bhavana is there are bhavana also means attribute. There are three different ways in which this the destination of the individual who chooses, based on the choice of the individual, there are three different ways in which the destination or the goal can be reached, that we have discussed. These three divisions, the three methods are essentially the demonic route, the divine route, and the witness mode operation route. So regardless of which route the individual chooses, since they are on a common threading, so they reach their destination. That means we can complete the circle through clockwise direction, we can complete the circle through anti-clockwise direction. We can complete the circle by just putting a dot also, that is witness mode operation. So that is what has been discussed in the beginning also, the Srimata Srimaharagni Srimat Simhasaneswari. So this also indicates the Dharma Chakra is in order now through this sloka bhavani bhavana agamya bhavaranya kutarika. So where there is a chance for chance to get saturated, where there is a freedom that is provided, there is also a chance for misuse. That is bhavaranya kutarika. Bhavaranya kutarika, that is the next nama, bhavaranya kutarika. Kutarika is axe, the tool to cut, to truncate, to cut, to fell the trees. Bhavaranya kutarika. So those who misuse or abuse the system, which can happen at any point in time, because this sidestepping and violation can happen anytime. So those who try to violate or misuse this opportunity of common nourishment, that means those who turn on the tap for too long and waste the water, or those who do not turn on at all, rusting the pipes. So both are not not following the path towards the saturation or towards the destination. And so if this becomes beyond a threshold, beyond a critical mass, and if it is extending like a forest, the Universal Mother doesn't immediately get into the act. Only when it is beyond a limit, she will wait. If this abuse is extending and extending into rubbing onto others, and this force is now reached a critical mass, and it has become like a forest, extending like a forest. Forest, when we say forest here, bhavaranya, aranya means forest. When we say forest means uncontrolled. So when it becomes uncontrollable, then she uses the axe, that is kutarika, to control them. So hence here it is, what it means is that in the previous Nama we have discussed about the Dharma Chakra, that is demonic, divine and witness mode. So if there is an imbalance in this, the energy of the divine entities must be equal to the energy of the demonic entities. Then the Dharma Chakra, the wheel of Dharma, progresses. So if there is an imbalance in this equation, if there is an inequality in this equation, and the imbalance is too high, so that means those who choose particular choice, those who choose, for example, demonic activity, and then their karma acharana or action is towards the divine, and those who choose the divine energy, and that means positive energy, and their action is towards negative energy. Those who choose negative energy, their action is towards positive energy. So this builds up a lot of mismatch, and they are misusing the common nourishment, misusing the resources of the nature. So if this becomes too high, this imbalance, and if it is extending like a forest, uncontrollable, then the Universal Mother employs acts to control this and then restore the balance. So essentially this means there is, it is said in our scripture, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Mananam. The cycle of death and birth, those who got succumbed to this cycle of death and birth, like a merry-go-round circle, and then not just come out of it. They are not able to realize that this cycle of birth and death, it has to be experienced in a witness mode. That is when you stay away from the misusing the resources. But then if they get succumbed to this cycle, and then they are misusing or abusing the resources, this becomes like a forest, uncontrollable, extended for extension. Then, because the nourishment is being wasted, so then the Universal Mother steps in with an axe on such entities. So throughout this Lalita Divya Rahasya Sahasranama Stotra, the saturation and karma acharana, saturation through karma acharana action, and more specifically saturation in a witness mode, karma acharana is given emphasis. And hence here samsara yogam, the witness mode experiencing of the samsara, and that too on a common threading, common nourishment in a community manner, is being promoted. So those who drift away from this community and misuse the resources, they've been axed through Bhavaranya Kutarika. So that completes this sloka, Bhavani Bhavanagamya Bhavaranya Kutarika. So through Bhavani, the water element surfaces, and hence faculty of intellect receives the training. Bhavanagamya, so there is a discretion involved. Bhavanagamya, there is a destination or a goal, and so there is a discretion. So this discretion, what is the discretion here? So once we know the destination, we have to know whether we have to turn the right or left, or we have to go straight. So there is a discretion involved. There is decision making involved. So that is Bhavanagamya, that is faculty of discretion receives training. Bhavaranya Kutarika. Kutarika is the axe. So where the action is being performed, and that reflects the personality. If you are weak personality, you can't carry the axe. So you have to be sufficiently strong to carry the axe and perform the task. So faculty of personality receives training through Bhavaranya Kutarika. So the remaining namas we will explore in the next episode. Thank you.